Whispers in the dark. John Miller, an ambitious journalist desperate for fame, is struggling to find a breakthrough story. One day, while browsing a mysterious, forgotten bookstore, he discovers an ancient grimoire promising untold power to those who summon the demon Azazel. Tempted by this promise, John performs the summoning ritual, trading his soul for journalistic immortality. Immediately, John experiences a surge in creativity, producing incredible, award-winning stories. His career skyrockets, but his supportive girlfriend, Emily, remains unaware of the dark pact fueling his success. As John's fame grows, he begins to notice eerie, inexplicable phenomena creeping into his life. John's career skyrockets as he gains fame and recognition for his groundbreaking stories. His name becomes synonymous with journalistic excellence, and awards pour in. However, amid his success, John starts hearing faint whispers and seeing fleeting shadows, which he initially dismisses as stress. Emily notices John's growing paranoia and erratic behavior, becoming increasingly worried about his mental state. Despite her concerns, John evades discussing the true cause of his distress. As time passes, the whispers grow louder and the shadows more persistent, intruding into his everyday life. John becomes obsessed with his writing, and his work takes on darker, more sinister themes. Disturbingly, he finds unexplained references to pain and suffering in his stories, details he doesn't remember including. Alarmed and confused, John delves deeper into researching Azazel and the grimoire, hoping to uncover the truth behind the tormenting phenomena that haunt him. John's world unravels as he realizes the whispers are the voices of souls consumed by Azazel, pleading for release. The shadows that lurk in the corners of his vision reveal themselves as tormented spirits, remnants of Azazel's previous victims. These harrowing realizations take a toll on John, and his health rapidly declines. He becomes gaunt and haunted, with dark circles under his eyes and a constant look of fear. Emily, increasingly terrified and helpless, watches as the man she loves deteriorates before her eyes, unable to understand or alleviate his suffering. The dark truth becomes undeniable. Each story John writes is tainted with the pain and suffering of the souls Azazel has consumed. The agony they endured is vividly reflected in his writing, turning his celebrated works into grotesque narratives of despair. Horrified, John delves deeper into his research, hoping to find a way to break free from the demon's grip. In a desperate attempt to end his torment, John confronts Azazel, seeking a way out of the pact. The demon, however, mocks him, revealing the depth of his manipulation. Azazel explains that John's success was meticulously orchestrated, each step carefully planned to ensnare him. Every accolade, every moment of triumph, was part of Azazel's grand design to entrap his soul. The realization hits John like a crushing weight. He was never in control of his destiny. His entire life, every decision and every success, was part of Azazel's plan to claim his soul. This deeper insight into the demon's machinations leaves John shattered, knowing he is just another pawn in an eternal narrative of suffering. As the whispers grow deafening and the shadows close in, John's sense of reality begins to fracture, leaving him in a state of perpetual terror. His effort failed disastrously, and John is consumed by the demon, his soul added to the chorus of tormented voices. As the echoes of Azazel's laughter fade, the story ends with the demon setting his sights on a new, ambitious soul, ready to continue his eternal cycle of manipulation and torment. Azazel's malevolent presence lingers, always searching for the next victim to ensnare in his dark narrative, ensuring that the cycle of suffering and despair will never end. The Eternal Hunger. Sarah Miller, a talented but struggling artist, finds herself increasingly desperate for recognition and success. Despite her passion and skill, her works fail to gain the attention they deserve, leaving her frustrated and disheartened. One evening, while wandering through a secluded part of the city, Sarah encounters Lilith, a seductive and mysterious woman who reveals herself to be a demon. Lilith offers Sarah a tempting pact: unparalleled artistic ability and fame in exchange for a small favor. Initially hesitant, Sarah is ultimately drawn in by the promise of success and artistic mastery, agreeing to the pact. The results are immediate and astounding. Sarah's paintings transform into breathtaking masterpieces overnight, capturing the attention of critics and art enthusiasts alike. Her rise to fame is meteoric, with her works being showcased in prestigious galleries and fetching astronomical prices. Amidst this newfound success, Sarah's loyal boyfriend, Daniel, is overjoyed and supportive, thrilled to see her finally achieving her dreams. However, he remains unaware of the dark pact that fuels her talent. As Sarah basks in her sudden success, she starts to notice unsettling changes in her paintings. The figures within them seem to shift positions and expressions when she isn't looking, hinting at an eerie, hidden life. This marks the beginning of a series of unnerving events that will soon reveal the true cost of her deal with Lilith. Sarah's fame skyrockets as her paintings receive widespread acclaim, showcased in prestigious galleries and lauded by critics and art enthusiasts. Her work, hailed as revolutionary, commands high prices, solidifying her status as a leading artist. However, amid her career ascension, Sarah begins to notice strange occurrences in her studio. The figures in her paintings subtly shift positions and expressions when she isn't looking, creating an unsettling feeling that she tries to ignore. Daniel, her loyal boyfriend, becomes increasingly concerned as he notices Sarah growing more obsessed with her work and disturbed by these strange occurrences. Despite his worries, Sarah dismisses his concerns, attributing them to stress and fatigue. Yet, as the days pass, the changes in her paintings become more pronounced, and Sarah starts hearing faint, eerie whispers while she works. These whispers grow louder, filling her with a creeping sense of dread. Desperate for answers, Sarah delves into research, uncovering old folklore about Lilith. She learns that Lilith is known for making deceptive pacts with mortals, often involving a hidden, sinister price. As Sarah pieces together these dark tales, she begins to suspect that her newfound talent is not a gift, but a curse. The unsettling changes in her paintings and the whispers of the trapped souls hint at a horrifying truth she is only beginning to understand. Sarah's world shatters when she uncovers the horrifying truth. The souls of those who view her paintings are being trapped inside the canvases, fueling her artistic talent. This revelation dawns on her as she notices the increasingly desperate and tormented expressions in her artworks. Each masterpiece, she realizes, is a prison for countless souls, their positions and expressions shifting as they struggle to escape their painted confines. The realization that her fame is built on this macabre foundation is almost too much to bear. As the whispers from the trapped souls grow louder and more insistent, Sarah's mental state deteriorates. The voices haunt her day and night, pleading for release and filling her with overwhelming guilt and fear. Sleep becomes elusive, and she starts to lose touch with reality, her mind consumed by the incessant torment of the souls she inadvertently imprisoned. Her once vibrant and inspiring studio now feels like a nightmarish asylum. Daniel, increasingly worried about Sarah's well-being, desperately tries to intervene. He witnesses her growing paranoia and the toll it takes on her physical and mental health. However, Sarah, overwhelmed by guilt and fear, pushes him away, unable to explain the supernatural horrors she's facing. She isolates herself, her once passionate relationship with Daniel strained to the breaking point. In a final, desperate bid for answers, Sarah confronts Lilith, demanding to know how to free the trapped souls. Lilith, with a cold and mocking demeanor, reveals the cruel truth. Sarah's fame and success are irrevocably tied to the suffering of these souls. Without their torment, her talent would wither, and her renown would vanish. Lilith relishes in Sarah's despair, enjoying the anguish she has orchestrated. The darkest realization dawns on Sarah as Lilith's full plan becomes clear. Lilith has been manipulating her from the start, setting her up for this very moment. Sarah's final masterpiece, the one she's been working on obsessively, will be her own eternal prison. She sees herself being drawn into the canvas, her reflection becoming more vivid and lifelike, indicating that her soul will soon join the others, trapped forever in her own artwork. The ultimate horror unfolds as Sarah sees herself slowly being pulled into her latest work, her reflection in the canvas becoming more vivid and lifelike with each passing moment. Panic-stricken, she realizes that her fate is sealed. In a final, desperate attempt to save Sarah, Daniel rushes to destroy the paintings, but the supernatural forces at play are too strong. Each strike he makes is repelled by an unseen power, leaving him helpless as he watches the woman he loves being drawn into her own creation. As Sarah is inexorably pulled into the canvas, she experiences the torment of the trapped souls firsthand, feeling their agony and despair. The whispers become screams of suffering, and the vibrant colors of her masterpiece turn into a swirling vortex of darkness. Her senses are overwhelmed by the pain and horror of those imprisoned within her art, and she realizes the full extent of the curse she brought upon herself. With Sarah's soul now part of the latest masterpiece, Lilith claims her final victory, ensuring that Sarah's legacy is built on eternal suffering. The demon's laughter echoes through the studio, a chilling reminder of the pact that led to this grim fate. As Lilith shifts her sights to a new, desperate artist, she is poised to continue her cycle of deception and torment. The promise of unparalleled talent and fame is too tempting for the unsuspecting, ensuring that the demon's insidious influence will persist, perpetuating a legacy of pain and despair. The Haunted Architect. Damon Carter, a talented but struggling architect, is desperate for success and recognition in his field. One evening, he encounters Mammon, the demon of greed and material wealth, who offers him a pact, the ability to design and construct the most magnificent buildings in the world. Despite initial hesitation, Damon agrees to the pact, lured by the promise of unrivaled architectural brilliance and success. Overnight, Damon's designs become revolutionary, and he quickly rises to the top of the architectural world. His supportive wife, Laura, is thrilled by his newfound success, completely unaware of the dark pact fueling his meteoric rise. Damon's fame skyrockets as his buildings receive widespread acclaim and become iconic structures. However, unsettling incidents begin to plague his construction sites, including mysterious accidents and eerie disturbances. Laura notices Damon's growing obsession with his work and the strange occurrences, but he dismisses her concerns, attributing them to stress. As the buildings near completion, the sinister presence becomes more pronounced, with workers reporting inexplicable feelings of dread and sightings of shadowy figures. Henry, Damon's mentor, grows suspicious of Damon's rapid success and starts investigating the origins of his newfound talent. Sensing that something dark is at play, his world crumbles as he discovers the horrifying truth. Mammon has infused each of his buildings with the essence of damned souls, turning them into living entities that feed on the life force of their inhabitants. The buildings warp and twist, trapping people inside and slowly draining their souls. The structures become malevolent entities, their interiors shifting and becoming labyrinthine. Damon's mental and physical health decline as the supernatural occurrences intensify, leaving Laura increasingly alarmed and helpless. Henry, having uncovered the truth about Mammon, desperately tries to warn Damon and help him break free from the Pact. Damon, consumed by guilt and fear, initially resists, unable to face the consequences of his ambition. In a desperate bid for answers, Damon confronts Mammon, demanding to know how to stop the buildings. Mammon mocks him, revealing the depth of his manipulation and the impossibility of reversing the Pact. The darkest realization hits Damon. His own home, the first building he designed after the Pact, is the central hub of Mammon's power. It is beginning to come alive, its sinister transformation already underway, ready to consume him and those he loves. The ultimate horror unfolds as Damon sees his home warping and twisting, its walls pulsating with malevolent energy as it prepares to consume him. In a final, desperate attempt to save him, Laura tries to escape the house with Damon, but the supernatural forces are too strong. As the house comes alive, Damon experiences the torment of the trapped souls firsthand, feeling their agony and despair as the house drains his life force. With Damon's soul now consumed by his own creation, Mammon claims his final victory, ensuring that Damon's architectural legacy is built on eternal suffering. Mammon then sets his sights on a new, desperate architect, eager to continue the cycle of greed and torment. The escape. Luna Garcia, a desperate mother, faces the imminent death of her young son, Ethan, due to a mysterious illness. In her desperation, Luna encounters Asmodeus, the demon of despair, who offers her a pact, Ethan's life in exchange for her soul. Driven by love for her son and seeing no other way, Luna agrees to the pact despite her fears. Ethan miraculously recovers, and Luna is overjoyed. However, her relief is short-lived as she soon begins to experience terrifying hallucinations and near-death experiences, marking the beginning of her nightmare. Luna's hallucinations become more frequent and intense, featuring grotesque visions and eerie voices that haunt her day and night. The once joyful home is now filled with shadows and whispers, making every moment a test of her sanity. Luna narrowly escapes several life-threatening incidents, including a near-fatal car accident and a mysterious fire in her home. Each brush with death increases her paranoia and fear, leaving her constantly on edge. As these supernatural occurrences escalate, Luna becomes increasingly desperate to find a way out of the pact. She scours books and online forums, searching for any clue that could save her soul. Her relentless quest for answers leads her to a secluded, old library where she meets Mr. Brown, a mysterious librarian with an air of ancient knowledge. Mr. Brown seems to know about her situation and offers his help, revealing that he understands the dark forces at play. Skeptical but with no other options, Luna decides to trust him, hoping he holds the key to breaking her pact with Asmodeus. The two begin to work together, setting the stage for a battle against the demonic forces threatening Luna and her son's future. Mr. Brown reveals an ancient ritual that can break the pact with Asmodeus if performed correctly. The ritual, however, requires several rare and dangerous items, each with its own perilous quest. Luna, determined to save her soul and protect her son, teams up with Mr. Brown to gather the necessary components. Their journey takes them to forgotten temples, eerie forests, and abandoned crypts, each location presenting unique and terrifying challenges. They face hostile spirits, treacherous terrain, and ancient traps, testing their resolve and courage at every turn. With the items finally collected, Luna begins the arduous task of preparing for the ritual. Mr. Brown teaches her the intricate steps involved, emphasizing the precision and focus required. The ritual involves complex symbols, ancient chants, and the careful placement of the gathered items. Luna practices tirelessly, aware that any mistake could be disastrous. The risks are immense, but her determination to free herself from Asmodeus's grasp drives her forward. As Luna begins the ritual, a chilling wind sweeps through the room, and Asmodeus appears, his presence dark and foreboding. The demon sneers at her efforts, attempting to thwart the ritual and reclaim her soul. Shadows swirl around them, and the air crackles with malevolent energy. Luna's resolve is tested as Asmodeus conjures terrifying illusions and attacks, trying to break her concentration and will. Drawing strength from her love for Ethan and the guidance of Mr. Brown, Luna fights through the fear and pain. She maintains her focus on the ritual, chanting the ancient words with unwavering determination. The room shakes, and the shadows grow darker, but Luna persists, her voice rising above the chaos. In a final, desperate surge of power, she completes the ritual, breaking the pact and banishing Asmodeus. The demon's enraged scream echoes as he is forced back into the abyss, leaving Luna exhausted but victorious. In a tense and thrilling climax, Luna faces off against Asmodeus, using the ritual's power to challenge the demon. The room fills with a whirlwind of dark energy as Asmodeus tries relentlessly to stop her, but Luna's determination never wavers. With each chant, she fights through the demon's attacks and illusions, pushing herself to the brink. Finally, with a surge of strength, Luna completes the ritual, breaking the pact. Asmodeus is banished back into the abyss with an enraged scream. The hallucinations and near-death experiences cease, leaving Luna in a profound sense of relief. She realizes she has saved her soul and her child's future. With Asmodeus defeated, Luna and Ethan can finally look forward to a future free from the demon's influence. Though relieved, Luna remains wary, forever aware of the cost of making such a pact. She knows the darkness that once loomed over her life, resolved to protect her son from any future threats.